Here they're asking us to find the average rate of change of this function from -3 to 1. So first, let's take a look at what does this function look like so we can figure out what we're trying to do here. So it's kind of curves like this, and they want to know what's the average rate of change from -3, which is maybe about here, to 1, which is about here. So notice the function changes how it's changing. It gets steeper and less steep, but average rate of change means if I connected these 2 points with a straight line, what's the average change in y and change in x? Well, notice if I have 2 points here and I'm trying to find the change, so how much did the function change? So how much did the up and down or the y change? So the difference in y over the difference in x, the little triangle they use for d for difference. So the difference in the y values over the difference in the x values. Notice that's just slope. How far up do we go and how far over do we go? Now it's not the exact slope of the function, it's the slope of if we drew a straight line between those 2 points, which is what makes it the average rate of change. Alright, so if we're doing this between these 2 points, notice they basically only gave us half of a point. They said between x is -3 and x is 1. If we're going to figure out slope, we probably need the whole point. So how can we figure out the rest of the point? We'll plug them both in to your function. So if I put 1 into my function, so f of 1, I'll get the output, so I'll know what's the y value at that point. So if I put 1 in there, I end up with 1 to the third, which is 1, minus 2 times 1 squared, which is 1, plus 3. So it looks like I end up with 1 minus 2, so that's -1 plus 3, so 2. So when I plug in 1, I got out 2. And do the same thing with -3. If you want to be careful about signs, you can plug it in your calculator, make sure you have enough parentheses on everything. And so when I plug -3 into the function, I get -54. So notice when they tell you -3, -1, they just told you half of a point. To come up with the average rate of change, we're going to have to know the whole point. So first, figure out 2 points. Now that we have the 2 points, we want the difference in the 2 y values and the difference in the 2 x values, which means we're subtracting them, or you can just literally ask yourself how far apart are these two numbers. And so -54 and 2 are what, 56 units apart? Or if we do subtraction, 2 minus a -54 is positive 56. And then here for the x's, we have to go in the same order. So 1 minus -3 makes this 4. And then see if it reduces a fraction. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But here, 4 goes into 56, looks like 14 times. So the average rate of change from this point to this point, so from this value to this value, is 14, or 14 over 1.